Hey there everyone, I'm Mark from Folkway Music. I have with me today this. This is a bridge and a bridge plate from a 1963 Gibson J45 or 50, I'm not really sure. And I have it to do a little show and tell with you about these plastic adjustable bridges that Gibson was using in 62 and 63. I don't think a lot of people have had a chance to see what these things are all about. I see them all the time, and I kind of take it for granted that people know what we're talking about when we talk about the plastic bridges on the guitars that Gibson was building in that era. So I thought we would take one and take it apart and show you what was involved in putting it together. So this is what you see from the outside of the guitar. What's obviously not here is the guitar's top, which has been sent home with the rest of the guitar. Bridge plate is inside the top. And this bridge is made out of plastic. This part here is the ceramic insert that Gibson started using in the mid-late 50s when they started the adjustable bridge. Soon after this period, Gibson switched to the rosewood insert, I think in 64. The ceramic ones generally sound, in my books, better, but they also correlate with a bridge plate that is actually smaller than what happened a couple years later. The 1965 and later bridge plates are about that big. So there's a big difference there. Anyways, let's take this thing apart bit by bit. So the first step is we're going to take that adjustable saddle out with a little screwdriver here, right here, little stubby thing for the sake of a video. We'll just unscrew this and unscrew this over here. This is very high-tech guitar repair going on right here, everybody. That's why they pay us the big bucks. We can unscrew an adjustable bridge saddle. All right, so we'll just unscrew these. Almost there. I know this is not the most exciting part of the video to watch me unscrew a bridge saddle, but there you have it. Alrighty, so, oh, there goes that part. So here's the stud that's holding the saddle in. You can see what it looks like. And here's the saddle. And then, I can get the rest of this out here. Put it back on screen. So there's the saddle, and it looks like this. The underside's flat. The earliest ones were a shiny ceramic, porcelain, kind of like a toilet, and these ones are not shiny. The earliest ones had a groove down the center right over here as well. And then this little piece of metal right here is a spring. It's bent, and the idea is that it pushes up on the saddle to take up slack, I guess, or maybe when the strings are off to keep things tight. I don't really know why it's there, to be honest with you. I don't think it makes a big difference, but it spaces these out perfectly so that the, there you go, the post actually is held perfectly in place. So that's the saddle and the spacer and the posts. And then this is what you see inside. Here's the bridge, and you can see the bushings that are mounted through the top. Those bushings attach right here with half-inch nuts. I will unscrew them. Actually, I won't do that yet because first we've got to take the bridge off. So in the case of this plastic bridge, you see these, there are 4 little screws right there that use a 1/4 inch hex head to get them off. So I will unscrew these 4 screws very quickly here for the sake of a more interesting and brief video. All right, so let me take them out. So then that's what you see inside. It's a bit of a Swiss cheese of a bridge plate. There's the 6 bridge pin holes plus 1, 2, 3, and 4 holes for the screws. Then that is what's underneath them. So you can see it's an injection molded piece of plastic. Looks like that. Thin and light and small, very flexible. Oh, and look, it cracks too. So what happens with these bridges, because they're so flexible, you can see how much of a warp this thing has taken. The string, those 3 screws right here are not really enough to keep 160 pounds of string tension at bay. And so these things can warp, and the top can warp, and the bridge plate can warp. Anyways, here's the bridge plate now. These are the bushings. So this, when you take the bridge off a guitar, you would see these bushings right here, but the spruce top would be going on right here. And you can see the leftover of their glue that they used to put this bridge plate on, a urea formaldehyde glue. It's not hide glue, it's urea formaldehyde. And that's part of why Gibsons from this area tend to fall apart. The glue is very brittle, and it holds great, and it fills gaps really well. Gibson used it because it's a gap filling glue, but it's not very flexible and likes to let go. So I've just taken those threaded inserts out. That's the threaded insert, and that's what's left of this bridge plate. And now you can see it's plywood, right? See the plywood there? You can see the shape of this bridge. It's quite bent to match the bend of the bridge. The front is not bent near as much, but the back is quite bent. And this one is about 3/16 of an inch thick. They got thicker in the later 60s, and they also got bigger in the later 60s. But this piece of plywood is, it's plywood. It's pretty stiff, but because it's plywood, the grain of this piece right here is going this way. The middle piece grain is going this way. So that really means that a third of it has no structural integrity across its length. So they're not so hot, but they give Gibson guitars with this bridge a very characteristically thumpy kind of sound that lots of people love. And when the guitar hasn't fallen apart and it has this sort of bridge setup on it, that thump is actually kind of heavenly if used the right way. It's kind of a one-trick pony kind of sound, but it does that trick really, really well. And so one of these that isn't broken is often left best alone on the guitar, because that guitar's tone will change remarkably if you change this stuff. If you put a 50 style maple bridge plate that's smaller and 100,000ths of an inch and single ply maple, and a wooden bridge with a drop in saddle, you can imagine the guitar's tone is going to change 50%. It's a huge change to the instrument. It's like putting a whole new motor in a car, going from a 2-liter to a 4-liter or something. Like it makes a big difference. Anyways, so that's the plastic bridge Gibson. Thankfully, they only used these for a short little while, and they reverted back to rosewood bridges, after 2 years of using these things. But there are 2 years worth of otherwise fabulous guitars that are kind of stuck with these plastic bridges. And ones that are good, but most of the time the guitar tops need a lot of help because of what the string tension, combination of bolts and string tension, have done to the tops. Anyways, I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Take care.